Hi everybody, Al Caudullo here in Bangkok, and I'm joined today by Derek Spiva, the artistic director of the showcase and the CEO of CEED TV VR, and Russell Levitt, filmmaker and animator, and the CTO of CEED TV VR. Now, we've been working on a project together that I think you're going to be seeing very, very shortly. And it's a wonderful thing called the Christmas Spectacular. It's a combination of plays and musical numbers, and it's all done as a production that occurred in the midst of this coronavirus pandemic. Guys, let's talk a little bit about how the idea for the Christmas Spectacular was born, because originally this wasn't going to be a main project, from what I understand. Derek, can you talk a little bit about that?
No, it was not going to be a main project. In fact, we had several projects on the table that we were working on and had already begun work, pre-production on several projects. And then Roger Wood, who is the trumpet player for Pandemonium Noise, and he's also the director, said, well, we should do a Christmas Spectacular. And this was probably back in August, and we're all going, not enough time, no, we're not going to do that. And then I thought, well, you know what, we'll pitch it and see, because the opportunity had come up to put some projects together, and Oculus was looking to commission some projects. So we thought, I'll just throw it in there. I threw it in there at the last minute, not thinking for a minute that they would take it seriously. And then all of a sudden, they took that seriously, and not necessarily the ones that we had thought that they would. So that was pretty interesting. And so that kind of moved everything aside and moved the Christmas Spectacular into center stage.
Okay. So this project, because of the coronavirus pandemic, was a project that was under a great deal of pressure to be done in a very short period of time. And as they say, pressure makes diamonds. So let's talk about the particular challenges that you ran into, Russell, with creating what turned out to be a true international production. And I say that because I was working on pieces here in Bangkok. You were working on pieces there in California. You had a very short time frame to be able to shoot this before another lockdown hit you. Russell, talk about that a little bit.
I like your statement, pressure makes diamonds. That's definitely what it was. We're used to taking things in a traditional workflow to make sure that the technical aspects of the production are covered. But in this case, things were coming together at the last minute. I always like to take my time with things to make sure everything works out, especially with virtual reality. But it was a miracle. It was a Christmas miracle. It all was coming together. The last week, the cyclorama was prepared for us to be used. And then on top of that, the cast and crew worked hard to pre-visualize and pre-measure everything out in advance. And we're working with the equipment that we didn't exactly have all the previews that we needed as well. And it all just seemed to come together, even though we had a lot of obstacles in the way. It was truly the Christmas miracle.
So you shot this using the CooCam 8K Enterprise. How did you find that camera to react for you? Did it hold up well under pressure, so to speak?
The CooCam 8K camera worked like a charm. It does a very good job. We had some challenges with keying, but we worked on that and in post. But it did a wonderful job shooting 8K, and this is being presented on Oculus in 6K as well as on YouTube in 8K Mono 360. And it actually does a wonderful job. We didn't have any camera flaws at all while the camera was running throughout the production for 2 days, 2 solid days of 12 hours? 12 to 14 hour shoots, and it worked like a charm. Although we're still trying to get used to some of the functions of it.
Yeah, understandable. It's a camera that feels like it needs more work, but yet it's got such great potential. And I must point out, I really think it's important to point out, that we're talking about, we both have the CooCam 8K Enterprise, but we both don't feel very good about the idea of the original CooCam 8K. So there's some major flaws in the original one that, even though they're not acknowledging everything that they did, it seems like they fixed some things that were really glaring problems. So this camera was it's like a different camera. And I don't want people to get confused and run out and say, oh yeah, I'm going to get the CooCam 8K because it's only like sub $500. This camera's more expensive, and there's a reason it's more expensive. And yes, it is designed more around the idea of live streaming and being able to live stream up to 8K resolution as soon as we have 5G networks in place. I've already done it here. I've done some testing also with a live stream to Amsterdam, where we did 8K H.265 resolution. But it worked out very well in this case.
Yes, I will also mention that some of the sets we shot off the actual cyclorama and used them later in the green screen elements. And QCam has a function for shooting HDR raw. We shot that with some of the scenes and was able to get some really good virtual world imagery that we actually keyed in to the cyclorama set that was being used at the showcase.
Nice. Now, in case anybody isn't familiar with what a cyclorama is, basically a cyclorama is a green screen that is a permanent install. And so you have the walls at the bottom edge coming up around it so that you avoid shadows as much as you can. To get a really good key, you need a really clean image on the green screen. And actually, with the pandemonium noise, we really pushed the envelope because we had so many guys in the band, and you can see them behind me here on both of these screens. We had so many guys in the band, and not only that, it's brass instruments which were just driving. Russell used to have super long hair when he started this project, and he's basically, you see what's happened, he's pulled it all out, and I've come close, there's huge clumps in the back here that you just can't see or missing that I've yanked out of my own head. But getting a good key is still, yes, green screens have come a long way, green screen software has come a long way, but it's still, you really do need to make sure that you really have a clean image. And with all those guys, we actually had one time where one of the guys' butts were right on the edge of the edge of the green screen, and it's like, oh damn, I wish he was like a half a step in. But we persevered, and we came out with some beautiful diamonds. I got to tell you, they look gorgeous. We had some fun with it. We even used metal mantra to do the dolly-in effect in 360 with Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, so I strongly suggest you look at that. We had a lot of fun with the wonderful backgrounds that Russell came up with. They look fantastic and just really lent itself. This is kind of, I would describe this as kind of an old-fashioned, variety hour kind of experience. This kind of, and I think it's something that everybody needs with what we've gone through this year. We need a little Christmas cheer. We need to forget about things for a little while. This is a great way to slip the headset on. You're totally immersed in 360, and you've got these wonderful Christmas plays and Christmas music. Now, Derek, you were talking a little bit before about the challenges in organizing, in herding the cats, so to speak. You've got a lot of actors, and you've got a lot of talent involved, and you've got COVID. What did you have to go through in order to be COVID safe for this production? And that was a big hallmark, I know, for making sure that was accomplished.
Well, I'll tell you, Al, I've traveled the world, and I have taught in Africa and different countries, and I consider myself to be a diplomat by nature. However, this project really tried my diplomatic skills because you had COVID running rampant. We're here in Los Angeles County. It was locked down today, and then not locked down tomorrow, and locked down today, locked down tomorrow. I'm telling you, we had one side of the fence was the group of performers who were scared to death to even leave their houses, and then you had the performers who didn't care, really wanted to go out and wanted to do stuff, and you had to get them to work together, which was very, very difficult. I mean, we even required all the performers to get tested before our weekend of shooting. They rehearsed for about 6 weeks prior to the days that we were shooting, and so during that time they had to wear masks, and then you had instrumentalists, the brass players who were spitting all over the place. So it was a containment nightmare, if I might say so. But we wanted everybody to stay safe. We wanted to respect how people felt, no matter whether they were on the right side or the left side of the fence. And I think we did a really good job at that. We had a large enough facility where we could kind of section people off until they were ready to come. We had a great crew that helped us kind of rotate things around and keep us on time. It was a wonderful experience, but there were so many things that could have gone wrong.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Derek, any last words before we wrap this up? Or Russell, both of you actually. Let's give you both a chance to say, express your innermost feelings about the Christmas Spectacular. And Russell, I want to hear how you really truly feel about green screen now.
Well, as Kermit would always say, it's not easy being green. But you know, I really appreciate green screen for what it is. But there's a lot of factors that you have to take into consideration when shooting this. But I see the possibilities, especially with this virtual reality theater that's developing with us. And it's been quite an experience. Now I think you can say the same thing for yourself. It's been quite an experience. But we made it through, and it's a Christmas miracle for sure, and I'm proud to have it out.
And I was just gonna say, I've been in this business 30 years, doing television series and theater shows and all that kind of stuff, and so I just kept thinking of all the thousands of things that could have gone wrong, the details that could have crashed and burned, and for some reason, the COVID angels were looking out after us, and we didn't have any disasters. And I really, really appreciate that. So I think that just all kind of went in, and everyone was really surprised about that. All the volunteers, all the folks that contributed to making this such a great show, and I'm really proud of it.
Great, that's great. Gentlemen, thank you so much for joining me, and thank you for having me be a part of this amazing project. Let's leave this by letting everyone know where they can see this wonderful Christmas Spectacular. And don't forget, on YouTube, you're going to be able to watch the 8K version. And on Oculus TV, you're going to be seeing the 5.7K version, because with 360, that's the largest resolution that you can have. It's going to be, you can watch it on your phone. You can watch it on your PC or Mac. You can watch it on your smart TV. And best of all, if you've got any kind of a headset from a Google Cardboard on up, you can slip that on and get totally immersed in Christmas, get away from your troubles and your cares for a little while, and enjoy this labor of love, of green screen love that we've managed to create here. Guys, thank you again so much. And actually, we'll be talking to you soon about our other project, which is basically a partnership with California State University, where we're going to be able to teach people how to do content creation just like this. Thanks, guys.